Reagents that are used in mushroom identification are KOH, ammonia, and ferrous sulfate, which is like a type of, it creates rust. Anyways, so ferrous sulfate is less common. This is the most common one, the potassium hydroxide. So let's see what this does. Let's see what kind of reaction we get. So what you can do is you can just drop it on the cap, you can drop it on the stem, you can drop it anywhere you like. I usually like to drop it on the cap at first just to see if there's any type of reaction. This is also used in microscopy. So microscopy is also a very common tool used in identification of mushrooms. So you're using the microscope to look at spores. So this is also used for that, to mount the spores on the slides. So I'm not seeing a really obvious reaction just yet. We'll spread it around a little bit to see.
Do you have to be careful not to touch the cap of your KOH to the mushroom so you wouldn't get it onto a different kind of mushroom? Do you have to do that?
Right, yes. Yeah, you would definitely not want to like
go... I was like, mush it in there a little bit, or spread it around, and I was like, oh, that might not be a good idea.
Right. Yeah, you want to be careful about how you drop it on there with the dropper. You know, you wouldn't want to like drop it on and then let some of that reabsorb back into this, because then you'll contaminate it. So you can see there's a little bit of a chemical change here. We see a little bit of reddening. See the little bit of red chemical change?
Tiniest bit.
Yeah, it's pretty subtle.
Okay.
Pretty subtle. So we're taking note of that. We're taking note of the KOH chemical change. We've got a little bit of a, we would just call that a red flash. You could call that. So we've got red flash KOH. We have the bluing. So those are two distinct things that we can take a note of. I will go ahead and take a photo of this. And we'll see if we can't narrow it down to species.
So if you get a little bit of a reaction with the KOH, do you then try the two other reagents to see, or do you just say, okay, if I get a reaction with the KOH, I don't need to try it? Like, are they kind of mutually exclusive? Or...
Say it again, sorry.
So, like, if you get a little bit of a reaction, and so that tells you some information.
Yeah.
Is it worth anything? Is there any reason to try the other reagents?
Sure.
Yeah?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, you can learn different things from each reagent. I generally just always start with KOH because that's like the go-to. But ammonia is also a really good thing to use on boletes. Ammonia is a great, and that's one that is common. You can get your hands on that just from the store.
Yeah.
And so the ammonia is a really good one for boletes.
What are you looking for when you put that on? Just for it to turn color, or
a color change of any sort? Yeah, any sort of color change can give you more information about what you're looking at. So they have what's called the bolete filter online, and the bolete filter will basically allow you to enter in all these different pieces of information that you gather, and then the bolete filter will help you. It'll help you determine like what possibly the species is. So it can get kind of complex, right?
Yes.
As you're starting to maybe gather with bolete identification, it can get very complex. So not every mushroom is that way. Boletes are